everybody. Hey, welcome to the show. Will Robertson, of course. Welcome to filmfestivallive.com. Well, it's going to be a great week. It's Monday, and we have our guest on. I'm excited in the green room, and they're watching right now. And there's two of them, two for the price of one. And we're going to have a lot of fun talking about the film festival that they have made. The founding directors, the people, the ones that put the sweat, the blood, the tears in the festival. Very excited about that. But before we do that, so boy, oh boy, what a crazy weekend. If you remember the last show, I went to Las Vegas. It's supposed to be a 4.5 hour trip. It took me 7 hours because the traffic is always crazy. And everybody in Vegas is, where's my mask? I feel like I should be wearing it still because the Delta variant seems to be going a little nuts there. Get vaccinated. All right. Anyway, point is that the film festival was awesome. Action on Film Festival, along with World X in Italy, Rome, Italy, which is I was very happy. Got a chance to get an award I got for Best Actor in a short that I did. But back on it and bringing you film festival things. But before we go on, I want to show you something really cool. One of the things that I talked about in the film festival when I accepted the award was the fact that I was shooting this Netflix film for 46 days in Pernambuco, basically Brazil, a few years ago. And I decided with the lead of the film, I was one of the secondary leads, and he said, hey, let's go shoot something. So we wound up shooting a short called Signal, and you can find it online, and shooting it on an iPhone 5S. And I'm here to tell you that that little puppy, I call it the little engine that could, has won about 20 awards. I've won 2 Best Actors on it. And it was something that we literally decided that we were going to do off the cuff. Just do it. But I want to tell you something that from here on in, you should know what I said at the film festival holds, that this is the best time for you to be able to grab anything you can and produce anything you want. Because if you have a goal, if you're an actor, if you're a director, if you're a cinematographer, whatever, you can create all this. I mean, back when I started in the 80s, you didn't have that opportunity. You just didn't. Now, let me show you. Literally, you can, this is my, it's actually called, I think it's a CX 10. It's about 4 or 5 years old. It's a 4K. And this whole rig right here probably cost me, I don't know, maybe $800. I got a great deal, eBay. Be careful though. And my other part of the rig. And I shoot a lot of my own stuff, because if you're an actor out there and you're telling me, well, but I can't really do all this stuff with the phone, get out of the business, because you need to be able to do this stuff, because you need to have the power to create what you need to create. That's the bottom line. That's the message for today, this week, the rest of your life. All right, welcome to the show, and let's bring our guest on. Very excited. I'm going to show their demo first. They are, actually, I don't know. I know that they're not in the States, and my producer told me, and I have my sheet here, but we'll let them talk about this. It's called the APOX, or APOX, International Film Festival, and we're going to bring them on in a minute, and they're going to talk to us about their festival, which I'm very excited about, but also just stuff, the industry stuff, because I'm totally enthralled and interested to see what other people are doing outside here in Hollywood. You know, it's just not the same anymore. If you're here in LA or whatever, it's not the same. We're going outside of LA to be able to shoot because of incentives and stuff like that. So let's take a look at APOX's film festival demo, and then we'll be right back with our guest. Hang on. Wow. First of all, I love that promo. Very good job on the promo. It makes me, and plus, not bad scenery where you're at. Where are you at?
Hello, thank you for
Hello.
welcoming us in our film festival live. We are from Croatia, a small island, very island Lošinj, but our festival is situated in very Lošinj that has 800 people here. So,
Wow.
uh, um, and, and we want to promote small islands for big dreamers.
Yeah. First of all, I love the promo you did. It's very cool. It makes me want to go there. And so, can I ask you
You're
to, first of
welcome.
all,
We
yeah,
have
first,
free accommodations here, so no problem.
very so let me ask you to, how old is the festival?
It depends because the first festival was started 2007, but unfortunately because we didn't have sponsors, it was a problem have to get movies in that time because you didn't have a fast internet connection. We got with only a DCP projector that projected the movies.
Right.
So it started 2007 and for 3 years, and then we stopped, and we started now last year for we can say first time, and now we go to the second year of new film festival. Yes,
But
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 in the start there was a love of the movie. I started to shoot some films, making screen plays. When I was 12, 13 years old, with my first Sony camera with mini DVD player inside. And it was great. Yes, I had then. Year passed, and I went to workshops about movies, about screenplaying, directing, and everything in Zagreb. And then I decided why not to show these amateur movies here in Lotion.
right.
So I connected with people that do these amateur film festivals, and we did that 2005. And that year was great. We had a small cinema, this cinema,
Yeah, it's
that,
beautiful.
here can stay maybe in that time 50 people. And afterward, I decided why not start some great new film festival, maybe about documentary movies, because documentary movies, if you take a look, and people don't usually see, so they
Right.
don't watch it oftenly. So it's why not? So
Right.
I
You
started
know,
with.
right. Documentary films are really kind of taking over a lot of the film festivals, which is a good thing because it is definitely a way for people to creatively have a voice and not just be people on a street corner screaming something. They can actually put some real emotion and some real passion behind it and then have people watch it. I saw a lot of them this weekend
The
at the
first
film
movies that
festival.
was shoot was and presented were documentary movies in the beginning of the movie. So
Right,
you take that a look the history of the movies. These are the first type of movies that were shot. So
right.
and we started with that, and we had a crew of 5 people who work on it.
Wow.
It was a great time in that period. We have guests, we have people. We did it in August, so when is the high
Right,
season. But afterwards, our first winner was for a season of Bakar. A lot of the movies was from Croatia because at that time, like I said, you had a slow internet connection. You didn't have a place where you can put. Uh, we accept movies. Please send us, like you can today, with a lot of servers where you can put your ads, and we had to send a million emails with asking people do they want to be here on our festival, uh, and then you wait for the DVDs in that time, and then DVD doesn't come, so you
No.
have a problem to show the movie, and you pay for subtitles. We had a problem in these 3 years that we had this
Wow.
festival. In two times we didn't get these subtitles. It
But
was lost in post, so
you're
that
still
was a
doing it.
problem in that time.
Yeah, but you're still doing the festival. And by the way, I love your viewing room. I love the fact that it's kind of a SRO, standing room only, kind of a small little intimate thing. Because then when you're
Like
done,
art
I
sitting.
imagine you have Q&A, right? Questions and answers stuff.
Yes, we have. And last year we organized Q&A with our famous director Dario Jurichan that was here on our festival here
Oh wow.
in the festival. There was a problem last year about the COVID, so a lot of people couldn't come.
Yeah.
We have an peacemaker, Goran Božičević, that did some open discussion about the region and about the situations here. And we had some crowdfunding workshops that
Oh good.
we are
That's good.
still having this year. This is our main point, so the people can learn how to crowdfund low budget movies.
Sure.
Uh, we also got to in contact with a new flight. That's an organization that finances movies up to 7,000 euros. So they will also come here to present themselves because our movies are self-shooted movies. So if you take a look about some of the movies that come from Asia,
Right.
Iran, Iraq, and that parts, they don't have technology like we
No.
have here. So the
They just
movies
have
they
creativity.
shoot are maybe $500 worth of it. So this is our main point. We want
Sure.
to present the movies that in other way nobody will see. If you take a look of some West movies, because they have gross of 20, 30 million, they will be seen in cinemas. So,
Yes.
but here, this low budget, some low budget movies at the East, they cannot be so seen, but by a lot of people. So we want to promote them to give
Yes.
them
Well, a
possibility
lot
to
of
see.
that a lot of that has changed because a lot of the film festivals are now, being approached by people making platforms. Like, for instance, we have the ours, which is oprime.tv, that you can show it on. And this is a good thing because the short films are now sort of circulating and started coming into the streaming platforms. Let me ask you something.
The social
Are you
media also
only
now you have a lot of options.
are you in person or and online, or are you online? How are you doing the festival this year?
Live, we are doing live.
Okay,
A
no
lot
no
of
online.
no, because we don't have sponsors to pay online movie distribution.
I got it.
So
Yeah.
we are doing it live. But
Okay,
we are
so
doing some live streamings through social media. We are
oh,
doing some live presence of each individual that present themselves. So we put them uh, out on the
right,
internet.
right, right. Okay, so my next question is it is Ivana. What is your role in the festival?
Uh, Hi. Well, my role is I have different roles, let's say multitasking. Well, I'm doing some of the promotion on a local level because we also, this is, let's say, old new cinema. And we also want that the local community takes part in this event. So we are collaborating with local news portals and distribution of flyers, communication on web, and with other local NGOs.
Are you getting locally the support still? Is it increasing? And has COVID affected the overall film festival?
Well, I would say yes. The answering the question about COVID, in the number of visitors of the festival, yes, for sure. For about last year, for sure, we expected a lot more people, but due the all known situation, it was a limited number.
Right.
And about the local support, yes, we are getting some. Of course, there is always a desire wanting more,
Yeah.
especially of the local, let's say, community government. Because we are operating, this cinema is operating in the local building, let's say, community building.
Right.
So still needs some construction works and some, let's say, uh, design and investments.
Sure.
But it's a small cinema. We like to describe it also as an art cinema. So it has like a soul. It's different and. Uh, yes, I think that's about it about support of the community.
Good, good, good. And I'm sure things are going to become a lot easier moving forward because regardless of what happens with the whole COVID thing, what we've done is been able to adapt filmmakers and creating our own stuff anyway. I think that it's going to be more prevalent moving on that people are that online might be something that will be something that you might be able to utilize. But I love your studio. I think it's awesome. How did you come up with APOX? APOX. How did you come up with that?
Well, APOX,
Oh,
Apoxiomen, it
APOX. Yeah,
was
like approximate.
it was a Greek statue
Oh.
that was found under the sea near island Lošinj.
Okay.
And it is actually famous. I think there are few of them in the world.
Hmm.
It's one of we have also Apoxiomen Museum in Mali Lošinj. So as it is one very important cultural symbol of this island, we named the festival on at the honor, let's say, of the Apoxiomen.
Short of
I,
approximate.
I should kind of know that because I'm part Greek. But anyway, now I know. So there we go. Uh,
Yes.
let's wrap up by just telling us when it happens. Are you still taking submissions? And what's the website?
So it happens from 28th of September till 5th of October. It will be held only in Cinema Very Lošinj. We don't take any submission more because we had approximately 300 submission for this year. We
Wow.
chose top 40 movies. We have
Wow.
great juries, so they choose 40 top movies, and we hope that the promotion will be great about it because now we modernized the cinema. We have finally we have a projector that can project movies from DCP and not only from small projectors like we used last year. Last year we were in 3 locations, 2 museums and cinema. This year we want only to be in one cinema and to have it in our spot here,
That's great.
local.
Great. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show, and we will be working real hard to promote your festival. And so be watching our
And the
Instagram and
website is apoxfest.com. I forget.
oh, what is? Let me pull that up again. Hold on a second. I think I have it here. Let me just pull this up. And then I guess the last thing I want to ask you: Do you have any
apoxfest.com.
advice? Do you have any advice for beginning filmmakers that you can, tell me that you would recommend anything to beginning filmmakers?
To me, helped to go to the film workshops. So I tried to go to as many as I can. So this
Yes,
is the main point, that because each workshop from other organization is something different. So in one workshop you will learn how to put on the lights to catch a great scene. On the other workshop you will learn how to film the movie outside. On the third you will learn how to produce that movie and make a final version of
that's
it.
great that you have
So
all that, that you have all that education. I mean, that's pretty cool that you're giving people. Uh, and have you seen any of the films that have been produced and brought to your film festival go on? You know what I
I,
mean? Like, have they been
we
picked
lost
up
the.
anywhere?
I didn't hear you.
Have you had any of your films that have been in the film festival? Have anybody else, gotten any opportunities off of them?
Yes, but it was the West filmmaker, and that was the Kind Hearts of a Ballad by Mark John Street. Then we have a Slovenian producer, Lana Bregar. She
Oh, that's
she
good.
had come also to some of the bigger festivals up after us. So that's it. Yes.
Good, good. Well, we really appreciate you coming on the show. Of course, if you want to go to the website, you can go to apoxfest.com. Check that out. And of course, send a note to them, say hello. Thank you both for coming on, Alana, and of course, Marko. Thank you. Have a great
Thank you
day.
for
And we'll see you on
inviting.
we'll see you on the big screen.
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
See you
Have
in
a good day.
Croatia.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right, everybody. Hey, so that is part of the show. I think what's going to happen now is that we're going to have my good friend Sal come into the shot here. Just we'll talk about some stuff. Sal, what's happening, buddy?
How are you? How's it going? Great
Well,
interview. They're
hey,
they're an excellent festival in Europe. We thoroughly vetted them. They are very strong in social media. So I recommend. Filmmakers really need to connect with festivals. The modern film festival now is really has a strong social media presence.
yeah, yeah,
So unless you're going to the con and it's got that kind of that kind of name recognition. You go to Con and Tribeca, you're already in Hollywood. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So you're already by definition connected with the money people.
Right. Yeah,
But for the film festivals or the filmmakers that are in, that are trying to kind of make it and break in, it's imperative that they connect with film festivals that are relevant to the type of movies that they're producing, but
right.
also film festivals that are active on social media because you need that help.
You need that help. Yeah, no, absolutely. I always believe, and my theory is that every time you do a movement in this industry, you kind of have to let people outside know because I'll tell you, I was at the film festival in Vegas and sitting next to. It's funny. I walked in and I put some of this because of our show, but and there was four people that two at a time that went, Will. I'm like, hi. Yeah, I don't know who they are, but then when I got to talking to them, I went, "Oh yeah, how are you? It's great." And but the point I want to make is that I was sitting next to a guy that is a stunt coordinator that I follow on Instagram, and next to him was a filmmaker that was from Pennsylvania, but originally he was someone from like Eastern Europe or something, and he shoots a lot of action films because the first part of this film festival was action on. So it was a lot of stunt things and so on. And I look at the guy and I go, oh, great. He goes, yeah, here's my trailer. He sends me to my phone like this and I look at it and I was just dumbfounded. Like helicopter shots and
Wow.
like this technique I love to do, which is like fast, slow, and then big fights and weapons and explosions. And I'm like, wow, you're here for that. And he goes, yeah, that's what I produce. And at the end of it, the key component, he said, wow. And the guy next to me that knows him went like this to the guy, and he goes, look. And then when he's done, he goes, wow, that's impressive. And I'm like, what are you looking at? He goes, you. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So they were looking at some of my weapon stuff. The bottom line is that the guy said, hey, let's connect. And
Hmm.
I've got obviously a lot of films that would be great for what you do and your acting. So again, you attend these, and Tribeca is great, and so is Sundance, and they're all wonderful. And if you go to those, you probably, it's kind of like going to the Kentucky Derby. You're gonna have a nice hat, and you're there mainly because you're probably gonna meet someone very important, or you're rich enough that you can just hang out in fun clothing. But in this case, the point is that the networking that you have to do, should do, is a mindset. And when you get into these places, you really, you can find some great opportunities. You can also find some very funky stuff.
Hmm.
But I found a lot of funky dressed people with sparkly hats and all kinds of weird stuff. But in any case, I can't emphasize what you kind of said, which is you can go the big ones if you can, but if you can't, then these stepping stones we call 10,000 plus film festivals is the way to go. Plus,
Hmm.
if you get something, you get an award, you get a what do you call it, a label. What do you call those? What do you call the thing that you
The
get?
laurels,
Thank
yes,
you,
the
Laurel.
laurels.
Yeah. And we should we should create a segment of the show called Laurel and Hardy. Ooh. I like it. I don't know what it would be. Maybe it would be like someone who got a lot of awards because that's Hardy, Laurel and Hardy. All right, so I'm gonna skip that one. Let me have more coffee. But
I had my coffee. It's great.
yeah,
But it reminds me of what
wait, wait.
Paul
Turn
Bruce said from the Edinburgh.
turn your body, face me. You can't
Oh,
face me. Oh
sorry.
yeah, he's. I'm here's
um,
what he looks at. Like yeah. Anyway, so like,
Paul
where the hell
Bruce.
is Sal
Remember,
looking?
I well, yeah, I'm looking at. I've got two screens. You know the tragedy of having two screens. But Paul
Dracula.
Bruce from the Edinburgh Film Festival said something that kind of it has always stuck with me in the last couple of days that we've talked to him, and he said actors need to get jobs from filmmakers. Where do you find filmmakers? They're
Yeah,
at film festivals. And he was like, yeah, if you're an actor, that's the first place you need to be. You need to be
yeah.
networking where the filmmakers are, and that's where you will find them is at
Yeah.
these film festivals.
If you think about it and the numbers, because you're a numbers guy, if you think about it and film freeway
Freeway, yeah.
saying that I can submit, and I did do one of their marketing things. We have plenty of those. We'll be telling you about you on down the way. But the point is that if they say that there's 10,000 plus film festivals, how many filmmakers do you think there are? Because when you think about it, I mean, obviously they say even the small ones said they took 150 or 100 whatever. You're talking about people that they accepted, not the people
Hmm.
that they rejected. So when
Yes.
you think about that, and I'm just talking about this again, I hate to have the perspective or the POV of being an actor, but I am. And when you think about that, the fact is that it is probably the best place in your own town. There's probably a group of 15, 20 different people making short films. They need people to be in them.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, if you are worth your weight in salt as a professional actor, even these things that don't pay, you're still going to end up with stuff that's going to be dynamite. Not,
Hmm.
excuse the expression, not these produced for demo purposes only places that do them. I mean, they have their own thing, and if you want to get someone as an actor to shoot a bunch of stuff where you could pay people to produce your demo, but I'm sorry, that has a distinct look to it. It usually looks like you're doing a monologue in a nice setting with a red camera, and people are going in the scene, and
Hmm.
it looks like it's staged. When in
Yeah.
reality, two things. Number one is that if you are doing that, it's real obvious to a casting director, whomever in the industry, that they're watching something that was crafted just so they can look like they're working. But the more important thing you need to know as an actor or even as a filmmaker is that the minute you enter it into a film festival, it's legit.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's not, I mean, I'm not trying to downplay anybody else's creative work and what they might be shooting on or doing or how they're going to do it or where it ends up. But we all know with 10,000 plus film festivals, people are trying to access those so they get the laurels, because it's basically like shooting something and people coming up and going, "You really were awesome."
Mm-hmm.
And if you have enough of those, you can use those. Even if it's a small film festival that only does films shot from the back end of your phone, not the front end of your phone film festival, which I'm sure there probably is one, or one that shoots through a coffee cup only film festival. The point is that these are, they're there for very good reasons. One, to get recognition. Two, to be legit. And number three, so you walk away with your own mindset moving forward. And this is what I love about what we're doing. That was a long, hold on, let me get off my soapbox. The truth, though, don't you think?
It is. No, it totally is. And things are changing. We're moving away from the Hollywood, um, the Hollywood business model, that 120-year business model,
Yeah,
which
yeah,
is, you've got your headshot, you're going to LA or going to New York, and you're trying to, book a meeting with the producer or something. Those days are starting to go away.
yeah.
And people are hiring actors because they have the differentiation between two actors is how many social media followers do they have.
It does come into play in some cases. You're
Mm-hmm.
right. And they are asking, like someone, I did a recent, I walked into an audition and they go, "Hey, we're going to, hold on a second, test you for your temperature." And then they asked me questions and then they went, "Oh yeah, so what is your social media for Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or whatever?" And it's like, "Oh, so we can find," the point is that that's a whole nother conversation. I'd love to talk to someone about that on the show. But there's a good and a bad of that. One is
Yeah.
that I don't think that major network places are going to be out there going, "Ooh, we got to make sure that if it's between Will and Joe, who has better social media." But the point is that when you are creating something like these people are doing with the short films or even feature films, they are asking this, and the reason why they're asking that is for obvious reasons. Is that if I have 70,000 on my Instagram, that's 70,000 plus that you might be able to get to watch that film. You have 10
Mm-hmm.
people in the cast. Let's say they have an average of about 20,000. You're already saving your money on your budget for your PR, and you're most likely going to get some sort of buzz because those people are going to carry it in an exponential. You're the numbers guy. But the
Mm-hmm.
fact is that it makes dollars and cents. For this is why it's so complicated in our industry nowadays, that because you have to know your social media, you have to know how to shoot, you have to know how to edit. I mean, you can slide by if you want, but it's a different ball game, like you said.
Yeah. It's
And
good. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to step on you.
no,
I
no,
mean,
I,
it's
I
good.
I'll keep talking if you don't, if you let me. You know that.
It's good in certain ways. I call it the kind of the democratization of filmmaking. They're it's open. The industry now is open to creative people. It's open to people that really kind of like hustle and will do what
Right,
they can to make their film and to promote their film.
right.
You got to start thinking out of the box. It's just as simple as that. If you're in this Hollywood mindset, well, then you kind of really need to be in Hollywood and you need to be doing it the old way.
Yeah,
But if you're in the independent film industry, I mean, Quentin Tarantino's got tons of quotes about how he didn't go to film school, and his first film that he shot was his first year in film school, and so on and so forth. It's changed.
Oh, it really hasn't. You know what? Even recently, in the last month or so, with me, I've been dealing with a new management
Mm,
company and dealing with this sort of like change in the paradigm. And one thing is that I'm now hopefully this week I'll be saying that I have New York, Atlanta, Vegas, Utah, Austin, and of course California. But the point
excellent.
is that look, I've been doing this for years, this concept of going outside of Hollywood and
Yeah.
Brazil, Mumbai, China, and the reason being is that there is so much out there. And when you again, I tell my wife about my wife and I watching TV and seeing all those Netflix films and going, why aren't I reading for those? And every actor is probably thinking the same thing. One thing I will say is that you can't really launch into Brazil or Mumbai or wherever you happen to be able to launch, and even the UK sometimes, uh, unless you have a sort of a command of the language. I had a really great opportunity because I filmed 3 films in Brazil while I was there. They found me. I shot Signal there, but the point is, I shot another big feature, and I probably could be living in Brazil now, doing real well as the American actor there. But if you don't know the language, it's a little hard. So
Hmm.
I do say to you that that opportunities are everywhere. Certainly, if you watch FilmFestivalLive.com, you'll see some of these people. You can contact them. You can see that they're saying comments on our show and asking about being on the show as this person is here because they realize this resource for film festivals is enormous. We have a lot of stuff coming up in the future. Sal and I are working literally day and night. And I have to tell you, I've never met anybody like Sal other than myself that just keeps going. We're like the Energizer bunnies of the film festivals, trying to help people get out there and do this. So lots of stuff coming up in the future. But anything else you want to say in the end here, buddy?
Yeah, no, I just want to encourage actors and filmmakers to really start getting resourceful. And as I always say, social media, you gotta, it's a new day. You gotta be good. You gotta be strong. You gotta be engaged in social media.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that.
You really do, and you really also need to engage in other people's social media. I want to
Mhm.
end it on some things that you should know, and because I was talking to a film festival that we know and love, and looking at some of the posts that people are putting out for their film festivals, um, you really should be searching almost daily to see a couple of things if you're doing social media. Obviously, I prefer Instagram because it has so many different levels, and you can put
Mhm.
links in and put it in push it to your Facebook and stuff like that, and they're connected anyway. But the other thing is that 30 hashtags, not 25, not 15, 30 hashtags every time, every time. And really, what you might try to do is if you're doing the same subject, doing the same thing, which is your filmmaking, you go on and do a search for the best hashtags that are trending right now in that
Mhm.
industry. It takes time. I mean, Sal knows he's doing it. I've got someone that works with my account, and we're I'm constantly getting new keywords. Sometimes I take out the ones that say love or trash or whatever, but the just so you know, hashtags are basically like Google to social media. Because on Google, you search and you go, look, I'm looking for whole list donuts, and they'll show you sites, and they index your site based upon that. Now, when you have hashtags, you decide in your world what you want to see coming on your timeline, what you want to see coming in your Instagram, your Twitter, your Facebook world. And when you put those hashtags in your stuff, you then can be found in those categories. So think that way. Don't just think like, well, if I put like twerking without any clothes on hashtag, that's cool if you're looking for people that want to see twerking without any clothes on. But what you need to be thinking about is that these search terms are called hashtags on on social media. So make sure you do those. Definitely 30. Try to keep your posts separated from them. Usually, if you do a dot return, dot return, dot return, you end up with the hashtags down below. So that way, when you first see it, you don't go, God's sakes, wow, this is obviously a spam post because it's got a lot of hashtags. So that's one thing. I don't want to give too many more things because you'll probably get dizzy, but start off with good hashtags and you should be off to see the wizard. That's it, Sal. I think we have to get off the air so we can get back to work.
Bravo.
Uh,
Excellent show.
oprime.tv, if you go there, that's in the process of morphing into bigger and better as well. Oprime.tv, you can see it in the bottom third here. Check it out and, sign up if you have a film, or if you don't. You can watch the film festival films that are around the world that Sal has been collecting. He's been doing this for 7, 10, 800, 105 in dog life years, and I don't think he sleeps more than an hour a day, or a week.
Too.
But there you go. But really appreciate it, and I will see you again next time.
Awesome. I'm here. Thank you.
You are. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to the show. We really appreciate it. Of course, check us out at filmfestivallive.com. Also, if you're interested, you want to be a contributor and you want to write, you want to be interviewed, you've got to go to the site, filmfestivallive.com, and check us out. Oprime.tv or Oprime TV is Instagram. Film Festival Live is also Instagram. But go to our site, filmfestivallive.com, and if you're interested in maybe articles on gear, or you want to do reviews, or you want to, I don't know what, maybe you're the person that does the segment I'm calling Laurel and Hardy. Let me see. Let me just check to see whether or not Sal's laughing at that. Yes, he is. Anyway, bottom line is that we're here to help this community thrive, to flourish. I don't care. We don't care if you're in Des Moines, Iowa, Hollywood, California, or Czechoslovakia. The idea of people creating with whatever they can and being seen, being heard, and being accepted as being a professional is most important to us. Thanks for hanging out on the show. We will talk to you soon. And we're out of here with the end. And here we go, the end in mind. Yeah.